This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks. I have the pleasure of having the winner of a most recent Shark Tank-ish event in New York City, Chavonne Hodges here from Grillz Granola. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Welcome to the Halo sector. Once you're in, you never get out.
Dang.
So you're going to help get people healthy, feeling better. You're going to help us solve loneliness and obesity at the same time. So it's just a small venture that we're embarking on. So why don't you give your personal background, then we'll talk about your business, and then we'll talk about where it's going.
Yeah, so personal background. I am a global learning manager. I'm a fitness entrepreneur, and I'm also a proud divorcee.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know. I look very young, but, I've lived like two whole lives in this 30 years that I've been on Earth.
So let's get to the next phase here and just take all your experiences and just kind of use it as a trampoline, it sounds like.
Yeah, so speaking of experiences, so when I got a divorce, I was very depressed, and I also have a panic disorder.
Okay.
And during this time, like most women, when we go through breakups, it's like, listen, I'm either trying to be a snack or I'm trying to make a stack. That's it. I'm either trying to make some money or I'm just trying to be cute, go out to the club with my friends and party. But what I realized is that, you can't, partying is really bad for people who have anxiety because alcohol is a depressant and it makes you feel like crap. So I decided that I was just going to spend more time in the gym. I was like, I have a better shot at getting chose again if I just look good. But what I realized was that I was actually healing myself because it was the year 2015, and I remember because it was October, and Drake and Future had dropped this mixtape called What a Time to Be Alive. And I listened to this song, Digital Dash, on repeat over and over again. Mm-hmm. And that is the song, and that whole album, that was like the soundtrack to me just healing. And then I also started getting bored with all the classes that were offered at my gym. So I was like, trap music, what could we do with this? Okay, trap aerobics. If I say that to someone, somebody gets it. So from there, I used all of like my background in training and development, built this project plan, and for 9 months, I just obsessed over trying to create my own business and make my class trap aerobics.
So when you were doing that, were you inside of someone else's club? Were you trying to do that just as pop-ups, or what was the testing ground?
So the testing ground was, the first thing I did was I Beyonce-fied it. So Beyonce, she would always...
Is that a term now, like in Google? Beyonce-fied? I like it.
I don't know. I feel like with the Black Twitterverse, it's like if you do it like Beyonce, it means that you do it until it's absolutely flawless.
Gotcha.
So for me, it looked like I created the class in my grandmother's backyard, and I remember it because the music they were talking about, like Back That Ass Up and stuff like that, and she's just watching out her window like, what are you doing? But I invited all of my close friends. I did 5 classes for free with all my close friends, recorded myself on my GoPro, and just watched until I was like, is my energy right? Is the cueing right? Whatever. And then from there, first class launched in June of 2016. And it was very well received.
So it was a combination of what you already knew, what you were already doing from a functional standpoint, plus layering in music, dance, and what other components? Like from a fitness standpoint, the efficacy of the exercises, where did that come from? Just your own personal experiences?
Yeah, so I've always been an athlete as well.
Right. What'd you play?
I played soccer and I played varsity basketball.
Nice.
And I had this brief stint when I was really into badminton.
Okay.
It was really great. But
do you wear knee pads and like on the floor in badminton, or you kind of kept it?
I kept it New York City, inner city kid. We're not getting dirty.
We're not getting dirty. Okay, that's good. I haven't played badminton in a while, but I feel like I would like if I'm going for a loose ball in basketball, I would like go for the what do they call it anyway? What? Tether. What's the cone that you hit in a badminton? What's it?
I don't know, but I want to call it the snitch, like Harry Potter had the golden snitch.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I feel like I'd be on the ground, like trying to just bump that back up or something, but maybe not.
Yeah, but just exercising and being an athlete, I literally remember I have always been a very anxious person, and my parents, they thought that was socially awkward. So the first thing that they did when I was 9, they put me in this cheerleading crew. Because they were like, you don't know how to make friends. And I'm like, I realize it's just like, I don't like small talk. I need to have some sort of purpose to have a conversation. And sports was the way that I got there.
Gotcha.
And I held on to that.
So fast forward. So you get this exercise program, honed in your grandmother's backyard,
Yeah.
and then you had people come over there and do it in the backyard, or did you take it into a more traditional studio? Or
I started renting
club?
studios around the city and making them come after work because all my friends were working in the ad industry with me at the time.
Okay.
So it's just like, come to the class after work and take it and try it. And when I say the reception was overwhelmingly positive, I honestly couldn't even believe that it was taking off so as rapidly as it did. First year, lots of accolades, teaching it at Facebook, teaching it at Tumblr, being invited to other cities to teach a class.
Nice. And where's the name come from, Grillz Granola?
Ooh. No one's really asked this question, so I'm just going to tell you.
Okay.
So Grillz, those are the gold-plated dentures of hip-hop, right? And then granola, granola to me, as someone who's from Jamaica Queens, I thought about access to health because that's part of my mission. And granola is like one of few things that you can get that's like healthy from the corner store. Yeah.
Got it. Because there aren't as many choices.
Yeah, so it's like an ode to hip hop, but it's also an ode to access within this like wellness space.
Got it. I like it. So fast forward. So where are we today?
So today we are we're doing a few things. One, we're teaching regularly in other cities. Not other cities, in other boroughs. Sorry, I forget this is New York. But I'm teaching a class in Harlem. I'm teaching in Brooklyn, and then I'm still popping up in Manhattan now. I'm changing my strategy a little bit. So now I know that my focus and my core audience are women of color in a certain age bracket. And so now I've actively decided to teach in their neighborhoods because it's just a bit more convenient for them to go to the studio around the corner from their house, whatever that local dance studio is, versus commuting all the way into the city to take a fitness class.
Got it. So when you take a look at scaling yourself, how many have you gotten other of your friends or people have taken it and said, hey, look, put me through some kind of teacher training and let me go out there and become, a G&G ambassador or certified instructor? How have you thought about that?
Yeah, so right now there are two of my friends that can teach trap aerobics. It's something they teach with me. But the next step now is that we definitely want to create an instructor certification program because I put a button on my website and I had 15 people reach out to me, and none of them live in New York. Actually,
That's awesome.
2 out of the 15 live in New York asking, hey, I want to become an instructor. And
That's
I never
great.
advertised it. It's just been sitting on the website. So that's next. I think that's a Q2 or Q3 goal.
And have you done any instructional videos for that purpose yet? Or is that something that you're going to do? Or could it be an online teaching class? Or would it be a weekend or like a Zumba type of schooling?
Still trying to decide. The learning and development person in me wants to create a digital course, but I also recognize that for Train the Trainers, I would probably do a full day, like 8-hour instructor certification program in person, and see how that goes, and then see how I can translate those modules onto a digital platform. Gotcha.
So you also you're still doing your day job, or this is 100% day job now?
This is 100% day job.
Good.
How I am supporting myself is that I'm using all of my experience. So I'm teaching group fitness classes like in the corporate wellness space, doing things like Office Olympics for different corporations, and just using all my skills. Yeah.
So where do you want what do you want to take this, and how are you thinking about crafting up the story and the strategy? And, obviously you've got some really strong reviews and presence in the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of people here that this will resonate with. When we talked I was on the phone on Friday with someone who's starting up a vegan company, and she was saying, I'm in Southern California, but I'm going to go to Italy and I'm going to go to New Zealand. And I'm like, well, why don't you just stay in Southern California? Like, you've got more vegans there per population than probably anywhere in the world. So how are you thinking about, what to do and how to lay that out? Obviously, we're going to meet up and kind of strategize on that. But, you've done learning, You've been a learning teacher, right? And a manager, so you know that, things happen sequentially. They don't, jump. So how do you think about that? And also, how do you like put a break on where you want to be versus where you are and still feel good about knowing that you're making progress? That's a run-on sentence, I think.
Yeah, and that is a loaded question.
I don't even know if there is a question in there, but answer however you want.
Okay, I feel like, how am I measuring my success? Okay, so I would say the first thing is that I have this vision of what I would want my company to look like. And for me, I view Grillz and Granola as a house. I think that there's an interesting way to take on individual nuances from culture and make fitness experiences around them. And so for me, I would want to be, if I close my eyes and like really dream it out, I would want to be the first globally recognized, fully enfranchisable fitness brand owned by women of color. And it doesn't just end at trap aerobics. I have so many ideas. Like I think about like church people, right? Mm-hmm. My grandmother, she went to a Baptist church and they do this praise dancing stuff. And I never wanted to be a part of the team because that's not my jam. But I thought like, if there was like a fitness module around praise dance, it's still movement.
Sure.
You could get some really dope gospel music because like there's like trap gospel. Use that music. We're talking about Jesus Christ. There's still no cursing. People are still moving. And that is such a very large, market, There are a lot of Christians in the U.S., so why don't they have their own training program that ties directly to their community? There's so many ideas that I've had, but for me, I wanted to do a house. So the first thing I'll do with trap aerobics is I want to scale it to the level of Zumba, because I think Zumba does it really well. Some of the most diverse instructors I know, their entryway has always been Zumba. So I'm like, trap aerobics can get there because everybody loves trap music. And I see in terms of execution, I would like to do different train-the-trainer sessions in the major cities based on my Google Analytics. And it's usually major cities where that are very similar to New York, do some train-to-trainer sessions there and literally just Zumbify it, feed them content, feed them routines every month. That's kind of like what's been running in the back of my mind lately. Is like, what is that going to look like? But I think that I can definitely reach people. When I looked at digital marketing and putting out ads and generating leads, oftentimes, for some reason, people in Texas love me, and they're always like filling out things. So I'm using the data from the lead generation to identify if I was going to do 5 trap aerobics instructor certification courses in person, one full day, where would I do them? And I would do them in the top 5 cities that I get people looking at my website and lead generation on Facebook and Instagram.
Got it. So take a step back now to Jamaica Queens. When you're running your classes now, is this typically the first experience that people are having working out in a group setting? Is this people who are not comfortable going to a gym or to a studio? Obviously, a lot of the studios cater to high density areas in, affluent demographics, and kind of if the real estate Buxton is like one of these analytics, they look at it and they say, okay, here's the areas to go into, and it's, Upper East Side, this area around here, and then picking locations around the country that have a certain demographic profile, which does not meet, Jamaica Queens because of XYZ. Talk to me about some of the people that are coming in, what they're looking to achieve, how it makes them feel, bringing them into the Halo sector.
I would say when I look at the women who come to my class, they vary. I've seen age 22 to like 50. All of them work full-time jobs, like usually blue collar, and a lot of them are at the beginning of their wellness journey. So they're really just trying to find their tribe and find that thing that's going to get them moving. I mean, I'm talking about women who are doing squats, sticking their tongue out because Megan Thee Stallion is playing in the background. And it's like they don't care about how hard the squat is. I think they really are just there for the vibes.
Right.
So I think that's where it's at. They're usually at the beginning, or they're kind of in the middle, and they're just trying to look for things to switch it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when in Jamaica right now, tell us where the locations are, what how people find out about you.
Yeah. So right now, I'm not teaching in Jamaica. I am in Harlem right now. I'm teaching at Go Hard Dance, but all of our classes are listed. on the website, which is grillzgranola.com. And then I'm also teaching at 440 Studios in Astor Place. And then sometimes I'm popping up at Dance Wave in downtown Brooklyn. Yeah.
That's great. So how many classes can you personally do per week?
Ooh. My cap for me is 3 because it's just really taxing on my body and I lose weight quite rapidly and I start looking a little gaunt. So, yeah, my cap is 3 because it is high intensity and it's a lot. It's a lot. And you have to do it with them. It's like, it's an exchange of energy. I'm not the instructor to just be like, hey, do your push-ups. Like, no, I'm in this with you because that's the vibe I want.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at other fitness concepts or different group exercise classes, using names of different types of classes, what's this a mix of?
It's a mix of HIIT. Right, there's like some HIIT sections. It's a mix of Zumba, but to trap music, and traditional aerobics, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And how many people do you have in a class, and what's that experience, or what's some of the feedback that you've gotten?
We'll have usually like 20 people in a class, which I think is comfortable enough. I've done like large classes with like 60 people and it's been equally as fun, but I try to make sure that people's modifications and alignment is right. And I go around and I try to check that. And the feedback we get, it's just dope. I think people love me, mm-hmm. which I appreciate now more because as someone who was dealing with depression in the past, it's like, it's hard for you to find your sense of self-worth when you're just by yourself. And just like in your head. But people love the energy. People love the judgment-free nature of the class. And I always tell them that if they cannot follow and keep up with the moves that I do, then just dance. Because to me, it's more important that you keep your heart going.
How open are you about the depression and the anxiety and other components of things that you've been through with people either that are in the class or during the class or after the class? Because I think it's important everyone's comparing themselves to this highlight reel of other people's Facebook page or, compilations of what their photos look like. And the reality is that everybody's got something going on, mm-hmm. regardless of where you're at. Nothing's ever perfect. And it seems your transparency in that probably is extremely helpful for people to understand that they're not alone and that they can accomplish these goals if they put the time in.
Yeah, I'm super transparent to the point where if I've had a really shitty day, I will say, listen, today's been rough, guys, so I'm turning it up. And like, I change my music at the last minute depending on my mood. And sometimes I play really angry stuff and people are just like, whoa, I felt that today. But I'm very transparent about it because for me, the more open I am talking about it, the more I can separate myself from it. Mm-hmm. Like I'll say like, man, depression's kicking my ass today. I'll never say I'm depressed, but I'll be like, yo, it's kicking my ass today. And then for me, I just personify and say, yep, there's that bitch over there just trying to ruin my day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So as you go down this path of being an entrepreneur and doing this effectively on your own, except for a couple of instructors that you've certified.
Yeah.
What do you need on your team full time, or how are you thinking about, all right, for me to get from X to Y, here's what I need, whether it's, capital, whether it's mm-hmm. chief marketing officer, or whether it's somebody to just do my scheduling, or maybe it's someone to do my digital. How do you think about that? Because you've been a part of large companies that have those types of resources and infrastructure.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur is, bootstrap, but at some point you got to bootstrap and also have support.
Yes. I think that for me, the big thing that I really need is, I think I do need capital, but I would need capital for people. Like I definitely need a CMO and I definitely need a salesperson because I look at the major contributions I've made to my company, and I know that my strong suits are like building partnerships with people, making sure this brand story is what it needs to be, and it is because it is me. But I definitely think I need a CMO. I definitely think I need someone who handles operations because it takes a lot of time away from the bigger picture when I have to constantly update Eventbrite, and send out newsletters and answer people's emails, and and create content. Like it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Some of the studios recently, I know Tiesto as an example, is an investor in 305 Fitness. I know that there are some, Mark Wahlberg is an actor, just invested in F45. Trying to think, LL Cool J
Yeah.
is an investor in Blink Fitness
Really?
franchise. Yeah, so there seems to be a lot of interest on behalf of celebrities, athletes, enthusiasts, influencers into the category.
Yeah.
So if you had a wish list and said, here's some of the types of people that would represent the brand or be a party to the brand and really help you or epitomize what you're doing, who would be some of those types of people? If that's a fair question, or you can maybe just make it or that's an open-ended question. Or if you had influencers or ambassadors.
Yeah. So I think that if I had influencers, ambassadors, I would say I would love for Jada Pinkett Smith to be one of my ambassadors because she champions all this wellness stuff and health. Future, because he's just a great rapper to me. Wow. That's so loaded. I've never thought about this.
Those are two good ones.
Yeah, but there's more. Obviously Drake, because he's my favorite.
Right. So that'll take us right to your Drake quotes or lyrics if you want to parlay those into the conversation. We always ask everyone what their favorite quotes are or anything that they live by. So, Chavonne, you have at it.
Okay, so I have a Drake lyric for pretty much every stage of my life for the past 4 years.
Wow.
So, one, starting with me being depressed and in that weird state of, ooh, I just want to get chose by somebody else, whatever. From the What a Time to Be Alive mixtape, there's a song called Digital Dash, and Drake says, I don't forgive or forget, I don't let nobody in, told myself never again, and I'm going in. Right? And that was my song. I played it over and over again, probably like 1,000 times. It was crazy.
Thankfully, it's not on a cassette like it used to be, or else it would be like ripped up. And
I miss the days when you wait for the radio and you like hit record.
Yeah,
that was when 50 Cents in the Club dropped. That I literally waited and I would record it on my little boombox. But so that's one, and then two is now I'm in this stage of, okay, I'm going to do this chop aerobics class because I have nothing else to do, and I need to do this, and I do it things obsessively. So there's a Drake lyric from the song Right Hand. It's like a B-side song. A lot of people don't know about it, but he says, "You dream big and sleep late. You got a lot on your plate. That's why you're always working out." And that's my Drake lyric of me. I'm in my flow state, and I'm struggling, but I'm here and I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And then now I would say. Yeah, started from the bottom, now we here. That's me hitting the prime. That's like 2017, 2018. And I'm like, I'm getting press and recognized. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then me right now, there's a Drake lyric from the song Life is Good. It's him and Future again. And he says, working on the weekends like usual. I say that would be me. I'm just like spending a lot of time working on the stuff I care about.
That's great. Well, we look forward to helping you get to the next level and put the pieces together here, make Grillz Granola a household name and a trap workout of choice. So thanks for coming on, and our listeners will be able to potentially license the programs or have a teacher trainer attend one of her events in later 2020. Make it happen. Awesome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much. This has been an amazing experience, and the questions are so thought-provoking.
All right. I appreciate that. There'll be more to come. Let's do it.